Hi, I'm Marc Convey. I'm one of the co-founders of 23D. We're a video agency based in Brighton and been going about 4.5 years. Previously to that, I had a very, very different life. I was traveling the world on the poker scene, poker tour, I guess you would call it. And I did everything from blogging to commentating on live streams, producing, and just working and also being able to fulfill my love for travel. So I did a lot of traveling in my 20s. I guess I was drifting a bit and then found a direction in the poker industry because I saw it was an industry about to explode in Europe. So I was very, very fortunate to get in quite early. And then sort of as the industry exploded, I was the cream that sort of rose to the top. But got to a point where I didn't want to travel so much, and it's definitely a young man's game, being on your feet all day, working really long hours at poker events. And I guess I'd hit a glass ceiling as well, and everything that I wanted to achieve. And I'm the kind of person that keep moving forward. Otherwise, I feel like I'm moving backwards. And I never really wanted to join any of the big gaming companies. I was aware that I was working in an industry that has definitely got some sort of shady elements to it, and in the way that business is done, and new regions and some of the people that are involved. But I did see an opportunity within the industry to produce videos and content that I thought were more effective to the way that things were being done at the time. There was definitely a hangover from the way that content was produced for TV, and the world was changing. And people wanted content quickly. They wanted it on their smart devices, laptops. So there was no need to produce it to the type of quality you needed for TV. So with a bit of encouragement from one of the tours or the clients that I was commentating for, they said, your ideas are great, go for it, set up a consultancy, make it a video consultancy, we'll pay for your time and give you your first contract. So that gave me the impetus to leave this very cushy freelance life that I had. And at the same time, I was selling up my flat in London, and I wanted a business partner. And a mutual friend introduced me to James Beer, my co-founder, and the client loved him. I moved down to Brighton and set up the business with James. And then for the next 2 years, we worked all over the world at various poker events, and really learning our trade and honing it and our approach to creating videos extremely quickly, with trying to not lose too much production value. And that was great. But there was also, during that period, there was some tricky things to navigate. There were lots of regulation changes in the industry from region to region. There were lots of takeovers. So once we came off our retained model that we had with a couple of clients, it was hard for us to navigate those waters as a small company. So it was a good opportunity to diversify and move into other areas. We carried on doing events because we could easily transfer what we'd learned into events. And then we started doing a lot more with food and hospitality. We were traveling into lots of hotels, eating out, and we just really liked that scene. So we spent a year or so making those moves away, and then we felt like we were just in a position to really specialize in this area. And then the pandemic hit. So we lost 90% of our planned revenue for the year in about 4 days. We're also going for an Innovate UK Smart Grant. So we were also really interested in technology and the way that content is created and deployed and consumed. So augmented reality was, I think it's going to be a huge game changer in terms of content in the world. And we were trying to go for a research, an R&D grant from them to be able to work out how we could embed that into dining experiences to make them way more interactive, get data from the diners, and then use that to feed back to restaurants to try and help cut down food waste. Basically use AI to try and better understand people's eating habits and what they might have chosen. So try to learn their second and third choices so that you can better plan what food you get in. That all came tumbling down as well, all in the same week. So after we dusted ourselves off, we thought, we're in a bad position, but we're also very lucky. At that time, it was just James and I, and we were very lean, and we were able to not earn any money as a company for a few months. And and we pivoted into virtual events, which is, again, it's just a way of people communicating. So that went really well for us. But I think the big game changer was when we won UK Power Networks as a client last year. And we thought we were just going to go in and film their live build projects and, you know, film the grease and this and that. But then as soon as we saw behind the curtains, we realized actually, yes, they are a company that just lays cables and transformers, and it is greasy, but they're so much more than that as a company. And they're very much at the forefront of utility companies in terms of creating a diverse and inclusive workforce, looking at much greener ways to, in terms of energy and carbon targets and education, and how they interact with the communities that they've got live projects in. And it just opened my eyes up to how businesses should be run. But one of the things that they didn't have was the knowledge and the know-how how to communicate this. And I just thought this would be such a powerful way to market what you're doing and to really, you know, show the world and inspire. And I thought, well, if there's companies like UK Power Networks out there like this, there's got to be so many other companies. And at the same time, and I think there's a lot of people in 2020 were going through a journey themselves in terms of, you know, what is their purpose, what values. And me coming off the back of 15 years working in the poker industry was probably more in need than most people to try and balance up my working life in terms of doing some good, you know, in the sort of the communities that I work in. So I was going through this personal journey as well, while looking at the world, and just thought, okay, we've got a chance here. There's a bit of a reset. There's a massive adoption of digitalization and the way that content can be created and how companies use content for their marketing purposes. And I thought there's a really big opportunity for someone like me, for 23D, for our company to really jump on this as we come out. So started, putting some thought leadership pieces out there, testing the water, and realized there was actually big appetite for this. And that led me to being interested in you guys and MarketingKind and coming in this community. So the whole year has been a massive learning experience for us, and we've really reshaped what we're doing, and now we're very much trying to work with forward-thinking and responsible companies and helping them understand how they can use the good that they do into marketing, which will improve their bottom line and make them more sustainable as a company going forward. What inspires me most at MarketingKind is how much I learn from other people, how little you realize you know. I can't remember who said it, but there's a few quotes out there, but you hear is that you should be surrounding yourself by people who are cleverer than you and learning from them. And I'm definitely going through a phase at the moment of just being a sponge, in terms of how much knowledge that I can, because I'm relatively, as an entrepreneur, or whatever you want to call it, I'm relatively new to that game, and I'm a late developer when it comes to running my own business. So I do know I have a lot of other soft skills and other things that set me apart from other people, but I still need to learn how marketing and how content and how things are done in bigger businesses. So really it's the other members that have inspired me and wanting me to make myself a better version of me by just increasing my knowledge and learning of them. So I'm just inspired by the people that you've managed to gather together and the good causes that you're working on, and it just drives you every day to want to become a better person and learn more and realize that there's so much more still to learn. In terms of, we're very big into content creation, so creating really impactful films and animation. But one of the things with the I think benefits of the pandemic and the kind of conversations that I've been having with similar big companies pre and post pandemic is like pre-pandemic, they were very much wary, big companies, corporates, of working with really small companies like ourselves, because they're worried that we wouldn't be able to scale up, or just wouldn't understand how big business works. It was almost like that they would ask how many people you had working for you, and I would say, well, there's only me and James, or there's 6 of us now, but our strengths are that we can be very, very agile, and we can adapt to innovations a lot quicker than you can, and we can almost be your outreach. And yes, we only do video content and animation, but really we're more than that, and our strength is in our network. And I think the conversations I have now that people are saying that's quite smart. And I'm also saying to companies that yes, we want to stay in our lane and become the best that we do, but we have an extremely big and strong network of other people that we strategically align with. So it may well be that you have a project that you need a lot more doing than just creating video animation. It may need some live streaming, it may need some PR, it may need all these different other services that can come along attached to what we do and create a much better product for you. So I'm trying to sell us in now to big corporations that yes, we can come in and be your video agency, but we can also be a lead agency and bring our network into you to solution hunt for you. You know, I'm trying to do a positive spin on problem solving. So we're very comfortable with working with companies, and actually really enjoy working with companies who are experts in their lane, and all these different areas that I mentioned, and UX and all these different software design and all these different areas that we can come together to work with bigger corporations. And I think they get experts in their field, they get better value for money because we're not carrying the overheads all the time, hoping that we can win big clients like that. So to a long story long, to your answer is, we just looking to work with other agencies who have the same values of us, who want to impact the world in a positive way, and all sorts of stakeholder engagement, D&I. But really, one of the areas that we're trying to focus in on now is net zero, and it's the carbon targets. It's a booming area, especially for the UK. There are lots of opportunities out there, a lot of inward investment coming into the UK. Since one of the few benefits of leaving the EU, I guess it frees the UK up to attract money from all over the world, without the bureaucracy that the EU brought on that front. So there are huge amounts of opportunities for the UK, I think, to be right at the forefront of the whole world really meeting their 2030 or 2050 carbon targets.